a dream I know. Deep up my feelings for you. Watch.
Hello reality viewers, welcome back again to Reality Latest Gist, the home of news and politics. For this channel, we dey drop news every day and we dey react to every videos wey comes our way. And na reality news now we dey drop for this channel, and we dey also dey talk am as e be. If today na the first time we say you dey come across this channel, you are highly welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. And if you are returning subscribers, I appreciate all of una for una massive support to this channel. I say may God bless all of una in Jesus name, amen. I get video wey I want present to una this very moment, and I go dey follow una dey watch the video. After we don watch am together, make we drop our opinion constructively for the comment section. Like our videos and also share our videos if possible. Bye for now.
Mr. Femi Kayode joins us now from our Abuja studio. Thank you, Chief Fani Kayode, for joining us tonight on the program. I appreciate it. Let's begin the conversation. It comes to a lot of Nigerians as a surprise that it was some months ago like a rumor, but now it's a real story. That is no longer a rumor. It's real that you have joined the APC. And one will wonder that you met with the president today, one man that you heavily criticized. You called him some names. You brought up some rhetorics that became much more like led the conversation in the last election when you were the director of media for the PDP. And this is the same man that you have met today. What exactly changed from then and now?
Thank you very much, for having me on your program, and to God be the glory and blessed be his holy name. Well, a lot has changed over the last 6 years, and it is important that we make the right choices and the right decisions at the right time, precisely if we feel as if we are being led by God to make those choices. I make my choices. I owe nobody any explanation or apology other than my family members and other than my God. And I know that I'm doing the right thing. The most important thing for me, and I think some will appreciate this, is that there is no point in having any principle without power. You must have power in order to ensure that whatever principles you enunciate, you can effect them. Without that, you'll simply be talking and nothing will change. I've discovered over the last few months that I can work very closely with people within the APC and elements within the government to effect a change. And we've done quite a lot of that over the last few months without me even joining the party. And it has been very effective. I've collaborated with many people within the party, many of the governors in the party, and I will continue to collaborate with them, even some outside the party. But the most important thing for me right now is this. This country, in my view, is on the brink of war. It's on the brink of disintegration. And we have to join forces, all come together, set our differences aside, and ensure that we build bridges of unity and peace, and ensure that we pull ourselves back from the brink and fight those, mainly from outside this country, that want to destroy our country by dividing us on regional, ethnic, religious, and political party lines. We must build that bridge. We must work together, and we must effect a positive change in our country and move this country in the right direction. And that's part of the reasons that I decided to make this decision today.
Great. I might be staying for a few minutes on some of your philosophy and some of the things that you have mentioned. I will do that quickly and move on the real issues confronting this nation. First and foremost, you've accused President Buhari on issues relating to ethnicity, on issues relating to region and all of that. Several things that you said about him. Has he changed? How those things still remain the same?
That's an interesting point you've made. And yes, I have done that in the past and done it effectively when I felt it was appropriate so to do. However, having moved closer to him over the last few months, I've discovered a lot of things that I didn't know before. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. And the most important thing is this. If I believe in a certain philosophy, or I believe that we should move in a certain direction, and I'm getting positive responses from, when I act from within the family, as it were, and do so behind closed doors and ensure that change is effected in terms of policy, in terms of the way in which the country is run, in terms of the way in which disputes are settled amongst our various people, and in terms of the war against terror. And I get positive results as a consequence of my personal contributions at various levels, then of course I have to respect that. And I have to begin to think that, look, is it not better for us, for me and for my country, to ensure that we operate from within and effect the changes we want to change, that we want to put in place, rather than for us to be throwing bricks from outside? And I have ample evidence of the fact that because of these contributions and the receptive ears of a man that I believe would not listen to anybody else in the past, and I was quite wrong on that, his receptive ears, his reception, and those around him, particularly some of the governors, we've worked closely together. And I have seen that definitely this is a man that one can work with, providing you go through the right channels. And that's what I've been doing. It's been very effective, and I believe that I'll continue to do that. And, we made a declaration today. The president was gracious enough to see me, to receive me, and receive me very, very warmly. But the next few days will make, the formal steps. I'll be joining the party. I will be joining in FCT Abuja, not in the Southwest. I'll, become a formal party member, and then we'll do a reception, and I'll be able to say far more, many more things than I've said today. But this is the first step on a long road, and by God's grace, we will ensure that our country, pulls back from division, pulls back from war, and pulls back from throwing bricks at one another, which is what some people want us to continue to do, which I will not do anymore.
The question I was asking, Ms. Fani Kayode, is whether or not some of those things you said at those times still remain, or you overlooked them. As the person you described, 2019, 2018, is it the same man? What has changed?
Well, let me put it to you like this. I answered the question by telling you very clearly that I was speaking about him from outside. I have got to know him from inside now. I've been working closely over the last few months with people that are very, very close to him, and they would not have done that had it not been for the fact that he asked them or allowed them to do so. We've come to get to know one another, and it's absolutely clear to me that the perception that we had in the past, many people had, many still have, is clearly wrong. We can work together. We can come together. We can build bridges. We can effect unity in this country. And let me give you one example of that. In the past, we said that elements in the core north have refused to fight terrorism. We all accused them of this. In fact, we went as far as to say that elements in the core north were supporting the terrorists, and they were killing our people and their own people. Well, look at what's happening in the core north today. You have a far more vigorous fight in the core north against the insurgents and the terrorists from the North core northern governors than anywhere else in the country. And that is something that ought to be commended. They couldn't have done that without the backing of Mr. President. Hundreds and hundreds of terrorists and bandits are being slaughtered in the core north today as a consequence of that policy. That's just one example. Another example is this. We had a situation a few months back, and I was involved in it, I've told you on this program before, where there was a food embargo on the south, and where there was a plan by elements in the north to slaughter southerners as a reprisal for what happened during the riots in Ibadan and during the riots in Lagos. And there was a clearly well-orchestrated plan. Well, we all came together. We didn't go to the media. We didn't shout. We didn't insult one another. We came together with a number of other people, players from all over the country, and we resolved the issue. And the issue was resolved in an amicable way. Nobody was killed, no reprisal killings in the south, the food embargo was lifted, and Nigeria moved on. Now, that is the way to operate, as far as I'm concerned. There is a time to shout and scream and fight and criticize and condemn. There's a place for that in democracy. There's also a time for us to keep our cool, work purposely and constructively together to ensure we come to a good and expected end for our people and for our nation. And that's where I am today. I have not changed in terms of my core values and my principles. I will never change in terms of my core values and my principles. And I will carry those core values and principles into the APC and fight my corner any day, anytime. But one thing I'll tell you is this. We need to respect other people's views. We need to work together with other people, even those we disagree with, and we need to ensure that this country remains one. And that's what I intend to do, and I owe nobody an apology for that.
So let's get it clear. So the things that you said in the past are not true. You've seen it clearly. Is it because I know
No,
you're a Bible student?
No.
Is it a case of once you were blind, now you can see? Is that the kind of situation?
No, listen to me. Listen to me very carefully. I told you, and if you go back, play this again, you will hear it over and over again. Listen to me very carefully. I told you that it's a question of perception. I had never met I'd met him once or twice in 2013. I'd never worked with him ever before in my life. We were not close, we were in different parties, and we were fighting a war. We were fighting a political war in 2015. And I might add that over the last few years after that, I spoke against him probably more than anybody else in this country. However, when it became clear to me that it is not as we thought it was, it's just not as simple as that, and that our country is in a situation of war right now. We are in the middle of a war, and many people want to divide our country. So what do? We retrace our steps, we stop and think, and we say, look, let us work together with those we may have been opposed to in the past, but we believe we can build bridges and move the country forward together. I'm not saying Mr. President is an angel, and I'm certainly not saying he's a demon. I'm saying that he's a man like any other man, but I've come to realize that we can work together. And I've come to realize that he's open, he's magnanimous, he's somebody that has opened his doors to us, and he's welcoming everybody from the other party and from the opposition into this party, and he's not telling anybody, oh, don't say this, don't say that. As long as I'm guaranteed that I can work with him, I can work with anybody in order to ensure that Nigeria survives. Today's major issue is not what you or I think of President Buhari, or what you think of me, or what I think of you. Today's major issue is the survival of our country as one nation, and to ensure that we keep Nigeria one, and we ensure that we treat those that have been maligned or treated badly in the past, I'm talking about various ethnic groups and people that feel marginalized, with sensitivity and compassion and understanding. If you want to do that, then you have to work with everybody. So when you ask me questions like this, I'll put this to you. In the past, other people have defected from one side to the other. Virtually every major political player has done that. Does that then mean they disavow everything they've said in the past? Not necessarily. Maybe, maybe not. But these things are a question of time. We agree one day, we may disagree the following day. We may agree today, we may disagree tomorrow. And that's the position that I have taken. Right now we're in agreement, we're working together, and I'm proud to be where I am today, and I know this is the way forward. I know I can get far more done this way for my people and for my country, and I have no regrets for doing that. In fact, I'm very proud of the fact that I can do this, despite what people might think or say.
I must give it to you that the power of eloquence that God has given to you makes it even easy for people to understand what you say. And perhaps there's a reason why a lot of people seem to love it when you're explaining yourself and your philosophy. And perhaps the reason why we have to take up some of the things that you have said. One of the things that you said in the past, in 2019, for example, your words, in your own words, you said, I would rather die than join the APC. In December 15, 2019, you said, and I quote, I'm committed to opposing the APC and those that are in the ranks for the rest of my natural life, and I will never join them no matter what. End of quote. In fact, for those talking about your defection at that time, you told them, you said it was false and insulting.
Good. Can I answer the question now? Have
Absolutely.
you finished the nice quotes?
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Let me put this to you. A lot has happened in the APC itself over the last few years. Would you agree with me? You are a political commentator. You know what has happened in the APC. You know what has happened in the PDP. I won't talk about the PDP on this program until they throw a brick at me, then I will respond. I never throw the first punch. I always throw the last. Let's not talk about APC. The APC I was speaking about at that time is not the APC of today. The APC of that time, and I'll say it any day, anywhere, the APC of that time did not have the leadership that they have today. Today you have a man who is the National Caretaker Committee of the APC, that's Governor Mebuni, who has done exceptionally well in attracting people and presenting a broad-based, liberal, pluralistic view on national issues and national affairs. And he has opened the doors of the party to all manner of people with a plural, plurality of views. We may not agree on everything, but certainly there's a place for you in a wider family. And you can effect your purpose and fight your corner from within. And that is the difference between that time and this time. The old leadership of the APC was very, very different in its outlook, and I would never have joined them had the leadership not changed. What we have today is an accommodating party that is ready to take people on and is ready to listen to dissenting opinions, even from within, providing you conduct yourself in a mature and a decent manner. And that's what we've been doing. I've worked closely with Mebuni, I've worked with Matawale, I've worked with governor of Kogi State, I've worked with Zulum, I've worked with a number of others, even the governor of Plateau State. We've been collaborating over a period of time, Senator Grace Bent and so many others. And I'm telling you that there may be a plurality of views here, but we all agree on one thing, that people should be treated fairly and decently, regardless of where you come from in this country, regardless of your religious faith. We believe passionately in that. And we must not continue the narrative that we had in the past, that, you know, we must divide one another and fight one another on religious or ethnic grounds. And that's the new me, and I am very, very proud of that. But the party has changed. Not me, the party has changed. And the president has been accommodating of that change, which is very gracious of him. And that is why I am where I am today, and I'm very proud to be here. It doesn't matter what people think. It doesn't matter what people say. If I give you quotes of what others have said over the years about one another that are now together, you will be shocked. I have a whole list of them. But let's not focus too much on what you think of what FFK has done or thought. Let's focus on our country, unity, peace, and building the bridges that we need to build to ensure that we don't turn against one another as a people and end up having a civil war. I'm committed to fighting that. I'm committed to fighting the terrorists. I'm committed to standing by this government as long as they continue to fight the terrorists and kill them morning, day, and night. And what's happening in Zamfara today and in the Northwest, you know, it gives me immense joy to hear that they're being slaughtered like flies. I like that very much. And that's one of the reasons I joined today.
All right. There is a vehemence in what you say, in the use of language, and perhaps the time when you say you'd rather die than join the APC. Do you think maybe you went too far?
No, let me tell this, Shehu, again, it's not a question of use of language, it's a question of commitment, it's a question of understanding, and it's a question of accepting the fact that people base their decisions on conviction and not any form of opportunism. That's certainly me. If I wanted to be opportunistic, I would have done this long ago. I will never surrender my principles or my core values. But let me put this to you. I'll repeat what I said earlier. It is the party that has changed, the leadership of the party, the quality of the party, the accommodating nature of the party, and the people within the party. The APC of today is a liberal party. It is not a hardline conservative party. It is accommodating. It is a party that is prepared to take people that do not share views with others, but are prepared to fight their corner from within. And that's how any political party ought to be. That's how I perceive it. I didn't just perceive it, I've worked with these people, and I've built bridges with them, and I'm very proud to be here. I will not speak about the other side. I won't say anything about the PDP that's negative. I have friends in the PDP, but let me put this to you. There are still a lot of issues that need to be resolved in the PDP. And I'm not, you know, people like Governor Ogwai of Enugu, people like the governor of Bauchi State, Bala Mohammed, and a number of others are very, very close to me. I have immense respect for them. And there are issues, however, in the PDP, just as there are in any political party. But let me put this to you. The APC, the leadership of the APC has evolved dramatically. And that evolution has attracted people that are intellectual, that are sharp, that are smart, that are focused, and that want to keep Nigeria together and at the same time treat every Nigerian, regardless of faith, regardless of ethnicity, as one and as equal. That is what I find attractive of the new APC. So when you say that I will not die, I will live long and I'll prosper because I make the right choices at the right time. I will not stay in PDP simply for the sake of staying there because I said something different in the past. I will move when I believe it's appropriate. I'll go forward. I'll save Nigeria. I'll fight for Nigeria. I'll defend Nigeria, and I'll defend our unity and our peace any day, anytime. And this is where it is best served for me to do that right now.
Could this be possibly your final bus stop?
Well, ask any politician that question and I'll give you the same answer. Only God knows tomorrow. As long as my core values, are honored and respected, I will stay where I am. I stayed in PDP for a very, very long time, despite a number of issues that arose. If you remember, I would have left a number of months back. But the whole National Executive Committee came to my house and made an appeal to me to stay. And I honored them by staying longer. However, anything can happen tomorrow if people do not do the right thing. I reserve the right to change my mind if, for example, I come to Channels Television and you're rude to me, and I'll say, oh, I'll always be on Channels, but if you're rude to me, I will never come back again. So people do make decisions based on what is happening on any given day. But for now, I'm very comfortable. I'm very happy. I'm delighted to be here. I'm delighted at the fact that they have welcomed me with open arms, and they have given me a pride of place in the sense that the kind of access that I have to so many people in so many places, I never thought I'd have. I never thought I'd be able to get, given what has happened over the last 6 years. And that says a lot for Mr. President. It says a lot for the party leadership. It says a lot for the party. So that's where we are today. Only God knows tomorrow, but we will be consistent. We'll be clear. We'll be focused. Nigeria must remain one. Nigeria must stand together, and there must be no ethnic or religious bias. Given that, if that is the case, I will stand and I will fight my corner any day, anywhere within this party.
Talking about fighting your corner, already, some people already, those who perhaps agree or don't agree with you, are already talking about your latest decision, and they're already criticizing. Let me just let you know some of the things that your critics are saying. Some have criticized, and they wanted to know that they're saying that maybe you're leaving the PDP is finance related.
So I don't expect that kind of ridiculous and absurd question from you, okay? I have never ever lacked in finances. There have been no inducements. Politicians don't move because of finances. If I wanted finances, I would have moved a lot sooner than today. I have struggled and I have fought over the last 6 years more than any of the little monkeys that said what you've just said to me now. And I stand proud and I stand tall. The kind of family I come from, the kind of background I have, finance is never an issue. But of course, this is always the absurd narrative that people with a very small brain and a low intelligence quotient always put out when they feel threatened. And I don't care. You can insult me from morning till night. It means nothing to me. What is important to me is my God and the fact that I'm doing the right thing at the right time. I am considerably more wealthy than most people think, and I don't need anything from anybody. I work hard, I've always worked hard, and I've never lacked anything good. When I was fighting the government, you didn't talk about finances or no finances. Now that I'm not fighting the government, you're talking about finances or no finances. It's an old narrative, it's an old story. It's something that Nigerians, particularly Nigerians from a particular segment of society, like to say about those of us that are in the elite. And I'm not prepared to respond to such rubbish, and I'm surprised you should ask me that kind of question. Why don't you go and ask others wait a minute, let me finish. Why don't you go and ask a number of others that same question whenever they defect? It's a very insulting question, and there's no basis to it whatsoever.
I'm pretty much, I'm sure that you know how to fight your battle, and in your corner, you pretty much know how to respond to those of your critics. We're due for a break in 30 seconds, but what do you say to your followers who have been following you, who believe everything you say, and now that you have the opportunity to communicate with them on your new decision, what do you tell them? They know where you stand, and today you've changed your stance. What do you say to them?
I say they've always known that whenever I make a decision, it's based on conviction and understanding, and it's for the right reasons, not the sort of nonsense that whoever you were quoting was saying over there. They believe in me, and those that believe in me have to trust me. Believe me, I usually get it right, and I'm usually far ahead of most people in such matters. I'm doing the right thing for Nigeria. I'm doing the right thing despite the kind of insults that you and others are putting to me by asking me that question. I will continue to do the right thing no matter what it is anybody says for this country and for my people. I will be in a position to effect change in this country. I will do the right thing for these people. Whether they see it in me today or not, they will see it tomorrow. This was the right decision. I will ensure we're in power. I will ensure the right thing is done with that power. I will ensure that our country remains together. Love me or hate me, that is me, and I'll stand where I stand. For my followers and supporters, I thank you, and I trust you, and I know you will trust me. That's what I have to say.
Chief Fani Kayode, those were not insults from me. I was just taking questions from your critics. But we'll take a breather.
Thank you for putting insults from other people to me on your program. But that's okay. You and I, we love it, and I love insults too. I love insults. You know that. I enjoy it.
Know that I'm a proper Yoruba man, and I know what it means to respect elders. So, but we'll take a break. Stay with me, Chief Fani Kayode. When we return, there's more to talk about. Everyone, we'll take a breather, and when we return, more to talk about this country, the decision of Mr. Fani Kayode, and what it means for Nigeria's politics after this time at everyone. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. We've been speaking with our former Aviation Minister, Chief Femi Fani Kayode, who has rejoined the All Progressives Congress, APC, and who was on a visit to President Muhammadu Buhari today. Let's get back to the conversation now. Chief Fani Kayode, some of the issues that you raised before you joined the APC was had to do with some of the unrest that we've seen, especially in the southwest region. Let me ask you, where do you place Igboho in this new scenario? Sunday Adeyemo.
Yes. Well, Sunday Igboho is a friend of mine, has always been a friend of mine, and will always be a friend of mine. I don't deny my friends, regardless of circumstances. But, you know, he may have a particular view on issues. I've always said, and I maintain it, and I said it to the Villa today, that the right of self-determination, in my view, is sacrosanct. People have a right to determine their future. If a people say they want to go, and there's a referendum, I don't see why anybody should say they shouldn't go anywhere. However, my view, though, is that Nigeria must remain together as long as people want to be within Nigeria. And the answer to those that want to break off, as far as I'm concerned, is that we need to reach out to them in love and in compassion and understanding. And that is the policy I adopted with Sunday Igboho. And I'm a better friend to Sunday than many of those that have now turned their back on him and that are denying him publicly. My view is that, fine, we have issues in this country. Some people want to go, many people want to stay. Our view, our position as leaders is we need to keep everybody on board, ensure that nobody picks up weapons to start killing one another, either from the government side or from the other side, killing innocent people, targeting innocent people based on ethnicity or religion, and ensure there's sanity and peace in the country. That has always been my position. I told Sunday Igboho this when we met, I told him after we met, and I've told him of late. That has always been my position. However, I also believe that it is important for us to rise to the occasion that we are faced with right now. And there are far more important issues. Let me tell you this. I've said this is not the first time I'm saying this. I'll keep on saying it to those that simply don't seem to get the picture. There is a conspiracy. It's an international conspiracy to turn our country into a bloodbath, turn it into a cauldron of fire, and ensure that we begin to kill each other, whether it's Fulani, Hausa, Yoruba, Igbo, or whatever, for no reason, for no just cause whatsoever. Meanwhile, the people that are dividing us, that are attacking our people, for example, in the Southwest, are mainly, 90% of them are foreigners. They are foreign Fulani murderers, foreigners. They're not Nigerian Fulanis. And they're killing as many Fulanis and Hausas in Zamfara, where I'm a proud traditional title holder, in Sokoto and in so many other places in the corner as they are in the Southwest. But the lazy commentator doesn't think about that. They just say all Fulanis are bad or whatever. We've all done it in the past. But it's time for us to retrace our steps. I told Igboho this privately. I said this publicly at the time when he was with us here. And I'll continue to say it. We must make that distinction. We must, and in fairness to him, if not for Sunday Igboho at that time, we would have had a problem in this country because he went out of his way to give assurances and to offer protection to northerners that were coming back after the food embargo. I'm not going to deny that. I won't say it never happened. Of course it happened. It's a historical fact. He played a key role then. But the situation that he's in now is unfortunate. But I will never deny him as a friend. We may not agree on everything, but he remains my friend. And not just him, there are a number of others that are my friends and will always be my friends, even if we don't see eye to eye on everything. So that's my position on that.
Okay, so that means that you continue to fight his cause and talk to your APC friends. No. You're now putting words into my mouth. I never said I was fighting his cause. I said he was my friend. You can be friends with people and not fight their cause or not even agree with them. Whatever it is, wherever we disagreed, we did so privately. But publicly, he is my friend.
And I'll tell you this much, I am committed to keeping Nigeria together. I'm also committed to ensuring that those that want to break up Nigeria are reached out to and spoken to with respect, love, and compassion, rather than say, kill them all. That's my position. And I believe that's far more productive. As long as you don't pick up arms to kill policemen, and you don't pick up arms to kill innocent Hausa Fulanis or innocent Yorubas or innocent Igbos, and you don't target people because of their religious beliefs, as long as you don't do that, you will be my friend. You can have a different opinion. You can have a different approach, but you can remain my friend as long as you don't, indulge in violence. And that is my position with everybody, including people the conservatives on their side. One of my best friends is a gentleman by the name of Malam Abdullahi. He's the president of the Northern Consensus Forum. His views are very, very strong about Northern power and so on and so forth, and about the rights of the Fulanis and the rights of the Hausas and the rights of the core North. And he feels heavily marginalized. He's always speaking for his people. But he's my friend. We may not agree on everything, but he remains my friend. We must indulge in this new approach of working with people simply based on friendship. We don't always have to agree, but we must ensure that we work together and keep this country one. Treat people with sensitivity and humanity, and you'll get the best out of them. And that's what I did with Sunday Igboho, and that's what he did with me, and we will continue to do that. And I wish him well, and I sincerely hope that he can resolve his issues with the federal government.
We have just about 120 seconds, about 2 minutes to wrap up now, and I have three questions, quick questions to ask you before we wrap up quickly. The first being that, politically speaking, every politician relates with their local level stage, which is the ward level. When we wonder why you're not going to your ward in Osun State to register, why are you choosing to do that in FCT?
Thank you. That's a very good question. And the answer is very simple. I've lived in the FCT for the last 20 years. I am a Yoruba man by birth, and of course I was raised in the Southwest, and I'm very, very proud of that. But at the same time, I've lived in the FCT, here in the FCT for the last 20 years. It seems absurd to me to be running down to the Southwest just to register into a political party. I live here. I've lived here for 20 years. That doesn't mean I've turned my back on my people. I love the people of the Southwest. I've fought for the people of the Southwest, just as I have for the people of the Southeast, the people of the South, the people of the Middle Belt, and the people of the core North. But I live in the FCT, and the FCT is a place for everybody. And I believe this is the appropriate place for me to join the party, and I will do that. However, I will still be deeply involved in politics all over the country, including the Southwest. I assure you of that.
What about your home state, your hometown? Are you still connected politically? Do you still have this support politically in your home state?
No. It's not a matter. Well, of course, everybody that has been in politics for as long as I have has support in various places all over the country, including my hometown. And I love the people of the Southwest. I love Ile-Ife. I love Oni Kabiyesi and everybody there. That is my ancestral home. I will never deny that. I also love Lagos, where I was raised. But I've lived in the FCT for the last 20 years. And it seems, this business of, flying down to go and play politics in a place you don't live, I think it's a little bit disingenuous. I live here, and I will fight for the people that are here, just as I'll fight for the people everywhere else. But I will never, ever turn my back on my people. But I live in the FCT, and I will join the party here in the FCT. It suits my purpose, and I think that's the best way.
Are the leaders of the APC in the Southwest aware of your decision to join the APC?
Well, when the leader of the party, the national chairman of the party, is aware, I would assume that every key leader is also aware. Whatever happens, I'm not really that important, whether they're aware or not. Well, mind you, I must tell you, I have consulted most of them. I've spoken to most of them. Kayode Femi is a good friend of mine for over 40 years. Dapo Abiodun is a good friend of mine for over 40 years, and quite a number of others. I've spoken to them. I've discussed this issue over a period of time. You see, I didn't make this decision overnight. For the last 1 year, you've seen me, going up and down this country, discussing issues with various governors from various parties. And I'm very, delighted that so many doors have been opened to me. So before I arrived at this decision, it took a lot of consultation, a lot of discussion. And those that I feel it was appropriate for me to discuss with from the Southwest, including people like Omishore and so many others, I've done that. And I will continue to do that. I dare not make this kind of move without letting them know. But
So
the most important thing is the party leadership is aware, and the president is aware, and the president welcomed me today with open arms and spoke in a very, very wonderful way, which I appreciate.
Quickly, you said you were instrumental to those who joined the governors joining the APC. Are we expected to see more people? For example, is the former president Goodluck Jonathan likely to join the APC too? We're hearing those are rumors too. Well, quick one in 30 seconds.
Let me be a little bit short. Let me be a little bit careful with my words. I'm not sure if I use the word instrumental, but certainly I played a role. And I'm very happy about that. And I've been working on that for a number of months and they agreed with me and they moved across before me. And certainly I can assure you there are quite a number of other leaders. I won't be specific in terms of their office or the office they're holding today or they held in the past, that will eventually come over to the APC. And perhaps at that time you will ask each and every one of them whether it's due to financial reasons that they should cross over and join another political party. Deeply insulting question, but deeply insulting session. But yes, there are going to be more changes. There are going to be more people, and they're coming based on conviction. Based on conviction. And, I've done it in the past. I've criticized people for making their choices. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter what I think or what you think. It's between you and your God. I've done what I've done today. I'm very happy with it. I'm very, very aware of the fact that this is how I'm being led by the Spirit of God. And I stand by what I've done. And others will join. Be rest assured of that. Especially the way the PDP is going. Others will join.
Chief Femi, Fani